Mute. Are we live? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Huawei Cloud O&M Services. Today, we are going to have our discussion on Huawei Cloud O&M Services. So I would like to start by introducing myself again. I'm Zainab Kujur. I work at Huawei as a cloud engineer. So what is O&M all about? O&M is all about operations and maintenance. It involves monitoring and managing devices and service systems to make sure everything is running smoothly. Plus, it's about dealing with various issues and learning from them to boost efficiency and quality. So in essence, O&M is focused on maintaining devices and services like servers and networks throughout their entire lifecycle, aiming for the best possible balance of cost, stability, and efficiency. So as the number of complexity of devices, operating systems, and applications grow in ICT data centers, the demand for O&M services rise too. There are lots of things to take care of, so there should be more services on O&M. This creates a need for more specialized O&M roles. These roles include hardware O&M, system O&M, database O&M, application O&M, and network O&M. So hardware O&M involves equipment planning and service management. System O&M focuses on operating systems and optimization. Database O&M handles things like backups and data recovery. And application O&M ensures service stability and during updates. And the network O&M covers everything related to maintaining network infrastructure. So let's discover the common O&M services on Huawei Cloud. It's CTS, Cloud I, and LTS. First, the CTS, that's for compliance audits and security analysis. Make sure everything's secure and in line with regulations. And then there's Cloud I. It handles real-time monitoring and sends out various notifications to keep you updated. And lastly, LTS. It's there for log search and statistical analysis, helps you dig into data and make sense of what's going on. These services work together to keep everything running smoothly and securely. We have more O&M services, but these are the main ones. So let's proceed with Cloud I. But first, we need to know why monitoring is required. So it's crucial because it helps us spot potential risks before they become serious issues. By monitoring, we can understand how the network is performing. If something goes wrong, like a security threat, monitoring alerts the O&M teams to quickly act on it. And this way, we keep things running smoothly and we prevent bigger problems from happening. So we set alarms, and then after the threshold hits, we get a notification, and then we act on it. So I basically covered why we need monitoring and what is monitoring and what does Cloud I do. Cloud I is our monitoring service in Huawei Cloud. It lets you keep an eye on resources, set up alarms, spot any issues, and quickly respond when something changes. It's got a few functions, a few key functions, automatic monitoring, as we see here, and then real-time notifications, panels for viewing data, resource groups for managing everything together, and it can even send monitoring data to OBS for storage. It is very simple but very powerful. So if I talk about each of the main functions one by one, for automatic monitoring, one's cloud resources like ECS, which is our VM, Elastic Cloud Server, or AS, which is our auto-scaling service. If auto-scaling source groups or cloud servers are there, created, monitoring starts automatically. So after deploying a cloud service, you can check its status on the Cloud I console and set up alarm rules. And for real-time notification, I can say that when creating alarm rules, you can enable simple message notification, which is known as SMN. If the service status changes or metrics hit specified thresholds, we set specific thresholds, and if they're hit, the Cloud Eye notifies you via text messages, emails, or sends HTTP or HTTPS messages to your servers. And this way, you can monitor the status and changes in cloud resources in real time. And we have panels. Panels allow you to view monitoring data. It's basically on the screen you see panels. They're basically the monitoring data across different services and dimensions. They provide centralized view of key metrics and let you check monitoring details during troubleshooting. And for resource groups, I can say a resource group, it basically lets you add and monitor related resources. You group them together. It provides a collective health status for all the resources that it contains that is in the group. And monitoring data transferred to OBS. So OBS dump raw data for each metric is only retained in Cloud Eye for 2 days. If you need to keep the data longer, if you want to keep it longer, you can dump it to OBS. You should enable OBS, and the raw data will be automatically synchronized and stored in our object storage service. So what are the Cloud Eye advantages? I talked about it, but let's talk about them again. With real-time monitoring, you can visualize your cloud resources and services in real time. So you always know what's happening, right? And then analyzing combined metrics is very simple. You can access up to 6 months of metric data. You can get alerts via email, text, or even HTTPS messages. So with Cloud Eye's comprehensive monitoring, you gain actionable insights from detailed metrics and monitor custom metrics with tools like agents, APIs, SDKs, and basically these are the things. These for real-time monitoring, ease of use, multiple notification types, and comprehensive monitoring are the key advantages of using our service Cloud Eye. So if we look at the architecture here, we see cloud resources, we see custom monitoring, we see Cloud Eye, and then auto-scaling and SMN service and Cloud Eye Consular. So you can see the cloud resources like VPC, I said, EBS, and ECS. These resources are integrated with the Cloud Eye service. Cloud Eye helps us to monitor metrics like CPU usage, in the ECS CPU usage, memory usage, disk usage, and others. And it allows you to set up alarms. You can set certain alarms, and these alarms trigger actions in both auto-scaling service and simple message notification known as SMN service here. And SMN then sends you notifications via SMS or email. So this is a quick overview of how everything ties together in Cloud Eye's architecture. So if we talk about a metric, what is a metric? A metric refers to a quantized value of a resource dimension on the cloud platform, such as ECS CPU usage and memory usage. So a metric is a time-dependent variable that generates a certain amount of monitoring data over time. So in the panel, you see the CPU usage if you enable the Cloud Eye service. And it helps you understand the changes over a specific period of time. And let's say you are working with autoscale together. You say, if my ECS CPU usage hits, 80%, I want to scale up another ECS. So you can do it together with autoscaling and Cloud Eye service. So what are the panels? We talked about it. The monitoring panels allow you to view monitoring data of metrics of different services and dimensions. You can use monitoring panels to display metrics of key services in a centralized way and get an overview of the service status. And you can use monitoring data for troubleshooting. So let's talk about server monitoring. We see functions here, various metrics, and process monitoring, fine-grained monitoring. So service monitoring involves basic monitoring, OS monitoring, and then process monitoring for your servers. Basic monitoring gives you agentless monitoring for core, ECS, and BMS metrics. OS monitoring provides detailed operating system monitoring for servers and requires an agent to be installed on all servers being monitored. So if you want to do operating system monitoring, you have to install the agent first. And process monitoring is used to keep an eye on active processes on hosts. By default, Cloud Eye collects data on CPU usage, memory usage, and the number of open files for these active processes. And server monitoring delivers over 40 metrics such as CPU, memory, disk, and network usage to meet basic monitoring and O&M needs for servers. So once the agent is installed, metrics data is reported every minute. And then monitoring CPU usage, memory usage, and the number of open files used by active processes helps you better understand the resource usage of your ECS and BMS. So in our next slide, we will have a round of Kahoot. This is our first round. Are you ready? One minute. I need to check something. All right, there's a bit of a problem, so I will continue with our next slide, and then I will come back to first round of Kahoot again. So let's continue with our log tank service, LTS. So let's start with what is log like. Why does logs matter? Logs are crucial. So because they are files generated by system processes that record important system information. So logs literally just tell you what's going on. They contain useful details that help pinpoint bugs or assist in program commissioning. Log Tank Service, LTS, provides centralized log management. It allows you to collect application and middleware logs from your VMs and manage large volumes of logs all from one place. And let's continue with what Log Tank Service is. LTS is basically a service that pulls logs from hosts and cloud services for centralized management. It handles large volumes of logs efficiently and securely, and in real time. Real-time collection LTS collects logs from hosts and cloud services in real time and displays them neatly on the LTS console. So Let's look about log query and real-time analysis. So the logs collected can be quickly queried using keywords or fuzzy matches. You can analyze logs in real time for security diagnostics or get operational stats like cloud service visits and clicks. And for log monitoring and alarms, LTS works with AOM, which is Application Operations Management, to monitor logs for specific keywords. For example, if the keyword is error, and it keeps popping up, it might indicate that services aren't functioning properly. So let me check if the problem with Kahoot proceeds. All right, let's continue with the second slide. So here are the LTS's advantages, our log 10 services advantages. So I told you that you can easily manage your logs in one place. LTS lets you collect, store, transfer, and search logs. It also provides advanced features for configuring, visualizing, and running SQL queries on logs. And there's scale and speed. So LTS handles massive amounts of logs, up to petabytes. It can ingest up to 200 terabytes of logs per day. And even when searching gigabytes of logs or running SQL batch queries on large log volumes, you get results in seconds. And LTS is very secure and reliable. It keeps your data safe with HTTPS encryption and offers 99.95 availability. And it's cost-effective. LTS helps you save on maintenance costs with no upfront commitments. You can scale resources as needed to handle sudden spikes in log volumes, and you only pay for what you use. So here's a simplified explanation of what's happening in the diagram. You can install, as you see, you have to install ICA agent because logs are collected by ICA agent. Without it, you cannot keep going. So you install ICA agent on ECS instances, and the ICA agent collects logs from the ECS and sends them to LTS. In LTS, you can use features like log alarms and log search to understand the value of those logs. So here's an LTS scenario, the LTS scenario. So what can it do? It does log collection analysis. So basically, you gather all your logs in one place to see what's going on across your systems. And service performance and optimization. By looking at network logs, you can figure out where things are slowing down on your website and tweak settings to make it run smoother. And it has quick network fault locating. LTS helps you find network issues very fast. If something like an ECS is hogging bandwidth, you can spot it and fix it very quickly. Plus, it's useful for catching any attacks or malicious activity by analyzing these access logs. And let's continue with our Cloud service. So first, we need to start by understanding what auditing is. So maybe we have heard about it. There are big audit companies. Auditing is basically about collecting and analyzing evidence to check if a company's financial statements match up with what's really happening. You gather data, compare it to the standards, what should be and what it is, and then you report what you find. And in ICT, information communication technology world, it's more about looking at the whole life cycle of information systems. making sure everything is in line. So audits typically compare what's on paper, like financial statements, with what's actually going on in the business. So as we see here, enterprise financial statements and the actual enterprise operations. It compares these two aspects together. So the purpose of auditing, is to ensure that the information presented in a company's financial statements is accurate and fair, helping business operate healthily. When you're moving your services to the cloud, you need to ensure that your service systems are compatible with the service systems and resources of the cloud provider you choose. So this is where our CTS comes to play on Huawei Cloud. CTS plays a key role in ensuring compliance within Huawei Cloud. It records operations of almost all services and resources on the platform. To maintain the integrity of these logs during transmission and storage, security measures like encryption and disaster recovery are implemented. And additionally, you can use CTS to design and implement solutions that help you obtain compliance certifications for your services systems. So what is CloudTrace Service? CloudTrace Service records operations on cloud resources in your account. You can use the operation records, which are called traces in our CTS, to perform security analysis, track resource changes, conduct compliance audits, and locate faults. You can also transfer the traces to our storage service, object storage service in real time, to store them for a longer period of time. So if we compare the traditional auditing and our CloudTrace service, in traditional IT environments, standardized audit processes are hard to implement. Unauthorized operations on servers, databases, and other resources can't be recorded in real time. So changes in system configurations are documented manually by IT staff, and these audit records are also manually kept, which means they can't be stored for long periods of time, or it can't be easily copied. So it's really hard to find or do any query to find the real log that you are trying to find, right? On the other hand, our CloudTrace service automatically and systematically records all operations on cloud resources in real time without needing manual intervention. It can also regularly merge these traces into time-stamped files, so you know what happened when, and store them in our object storage service for secure and cost-effective long-term storage. So thank you all for listening to me today. Unfortunately, the problem with the Kahoot persists, so I won't be able to do it. I'm really sorry about it. If you have any questions, I would be really happy to answer them. And tomorrow we're going to have a Huawei event. I hope you're all coming. Please look at our WhatsApp groups, and you can find the information there. Thank you for listening. And if you don't have any more questions, I will end this session. Thank you, Najata. All right, see you all, and I hope I will see some of you tomorrow. Thank you. Thanks, Mohammed. See you next week.